Good evening. This is Anisa Singh welcoming you today to India Fight Back. India Fights Back. With us, we have Mr. Rajiv Lochi, and the topic for discussion today is Article 370. Good evening, Mr. Lochin. Welcome to our news channel today. Mr. Lochin is a renowned Modi Sena leader as well as a Supreme Court. So, what is your take? When was Article 370 enacted, and what was the reason that it was enacted upon?
You just see, if you want to understand the Article 370, yes, we have to go to a little bit at the time of our independence, and more or less to understand how India or Bharat has been made out. That's very, very important, because once the independence has come up, one thing we need to understand here, when independence to India has come up under the India Independence Act, which has been passed in the British Parliament, and where the British government has decided to for the independence. Okay, but one thing we need to understand, that particular time, the British government or the British rule was not prevailing the complete India which you see now. It was limited to a 50% of what, because the India was divided into a various riyasat or a small empires that is there. A lot of kings were there. So therefore, making an India, basically, there was a lot of exercise has been done, and especially by our home minister, first home minister, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, that is there.
Yes.
So what happened, the Vallabhbhai Patel, by his carrot and stick theory, basically, it's a very, very remarkable thing which we need to understand, because today, as a young generation, when they see the India and we see the map of India, but the British Empire has not given, because there are a lot of controversial areas over there. There were 565 riyasat, which was not the part of the British government. So therefore, they have been brought under one umbrella that is called India. And therefore, but as I say, some of the king, they agreed, okay, they are coming with us. Some of them, they chose to go with Pakistan. It happens but some of them have been a very tricky one. And so I'm going to discuss the three tricky one. One is is a Kashmir. Another one is a Hyderabad. One is a Junagadh. So anyway, like a Sardar Patel, he managed to take care of Junagadh, because Junagadh has a situation where the majority of the population was Hindu, but the king was Muslim. With the Hyderabad also, it's a Hyderabad state, one way or other, majority population was Hindu, but like a king was. But in the Kashmir, the thing was entirely different. Majority of the population was Muslim and the king was Hindu. So what happened in that scenario, basically, he did not, in the prima facie, in the first step, when the country was about to get independence, at that point of time, Lord Mountbatten approached the Raja Hari Singh, who was the king at that point of time. By now, you need to take a call on that, whether you are joining hand with India or you are joining hand with Pakistan, and you need to give a clarity on that. But what happened, because his intention was there, he was knowing that if I will become the part of any country, then this riyasat or my kingdom or my kingship, because end of the day, Raja was like a Raja, he was enjoying his time. He was not like those Praja and Raja connect kind of thing. He is playing golf in Mumbai or doing a race course.
That's why I think in those times he got that special status of Article 370 from India,
what happened, I tell you, this is a very, very important
this was
thing.
In 1949.
Yes. So what happened in that point of time, he was not ready to give in. This is the very, very important thing. So what happened initially, he said that he did not take the decision. He said, no, I am not joining anybody. He said like that. So anyway, in that point of time, basically, because Mr. Patel thought, okay, I have to deal with other states like Hyderabad, Junagadh, and then other riyasat. So he sorted out one by one. But what happened at that point of time, the one you can say not a mistake, you can say, or whatever. The Jinnah has a thought process in his mind ki as the Kashmir is a Muslim populated state, therefore naturally it should come to me.
Right.
Therefore, he had an eye for it. Ki, okay, one way or other, one day we will have to take over the Kashmir. And in the transition, what happened? Like he organized. What happened? There are a tribal army which is supported by one of his associate, and what happened? They club together and they try to attack on Kashmir. And at that point of time, when they try to attack on Kashmir, then Raja Hari Singh has sent the message to New Delhi. Now I am into a problematic situation. And one very interesting thing I want to tell
require
you.
protection and your
Yes. And why it is so? Because Raja Hari Singh came to know that, like in his army also, there are more than 50% were Muslim. And whatever you can say, it's like a demography or unfortunate circumstances, but those 50% armies also, they have in principle joined hand with that tribal army. So
right.
Raja Hari Singh faced a situation where he has to flee from Srinagar to Jammu to save his own life. Okay. Now here what happened? Now Indian negotiator came into the picture where the Patel and Nehru was there. Yes, we should help him from the Indian forces. But Lord Mountbatten was in the picture.
Mountbatten,
and earlier,
yes.
Yeah, Lord Mountbatten was in the picture. He says no, because you are a new country, and until they have not accepted your accession, until they have not joined you, then how you can come in their support? It means you will come into a international war. Means just you became independent and now you want to go for war. So therefore, let him accept the accession. So in that
I
process,
have a question for you, Mr. Ruj. I
yeah,
understand what the procedure was, but what do you think what happened after 1949 when there was special status that was given to Kashmir? What has been the positives and negatives of that special status that was given to Kashmir?
okay. So you just see now I tell you, yes, again, in spite of that, as I say, I was completing my last part. Okay, in the emergency, basically, in the emergency circumstances, when Raja Hari Singh saw that I have no way, and what happens, like the Indian government send him the proposal, not only proposal, with a document, like a take it or leave it. You sign it and then we are there. Otherwise, if you will not sign it, then we are not there to help you. So that point of time, what happens, like Raja Hari Singh has signed the document, but the same time the document has certain conditions. Like you just see, those conditions was prevailing. In fact, that condition was for all the Riyasat, the same condition. The same condition was with the Raja Hari Singh also. Okay, like as I say, we are the three important factors, like army will be controlled by government of India, number one. Number two, basically, like as I say, whatever communications will be taken care by that. But you will have your own rule book. You are like your own independent state, and you can make and that is with all the state. That was very much into the picture. But most significant part in that, like where the Raja Hari Singh has put a clause, ki end of the day, you just see this situation has to be, I need to have a liberty to choose. That because end of the day, he wanted his kingship should remain there.
Yes. So the thing is that Article 370 gave Raja Harishji the liberty to still have his autonomy, but at the same time be under the protection and guidance of the Indian government. So he
Yes.
had the best of both
If
worlds.
you
I
go to
understand. But now my next question, sir, is what has been the negatives of that specific Article 370 or the positives? We've understood the positives, that was specifically for the
yes,
rule
like
at that point. But what were the negatives that Kashmir has faced because of that article in the last
I
till
I
it was removed?
Article Article 370 came into the picture here. Again, I want to clarify you here. Article 370 came into the picture when Indian Constitution has been made up. You have to go by the timeline. India got independence in 1947, but Indian Constitution came into the 1950, like a 26 January 1950, the Indian Constitution came into the picture. Now what happened? Article 370 is the provision of Constitution, but in between what happens, ki India remain into the war zone with the Pakistan for nearly 1 year. So what happens, ki like when the war was there, then Mr. Nehru, and when we were in the very much winning side almost, we have taken the 2/3 of the Kashmir with us. 1/3 was remaining. But what happened, like as I say, here I will take it as a political decision, and due to maybe Mr. Nehru was more or less, he took it into the matter ki, okay, no, we are a new nation, and if you take the timeline, like in 1945, the United Nations has been made. So therefore, he chose to take this matter to the United Nations. Okay, and one of the country who was ruling in that United Nations was England itself was there, and we were. So that influence was in place basically, and then United Nations has put a certain conditions there. Ki until these Pakistan army doesn't go back from POK, number one, until what happens, like the situation completely normalized, till that period, what happens, ki like Indian army will not withdraw from that place. And then after that, the plebiscite will take place. Okay. So to cover up all these three things, what happened? Like here is the new person came into the picture. His name was Farooq Abdullah father, Sheikh. Sheikh Abdullah was having a friendship with Mr. Nehru, or he was a learned guy, and he was also a same socialist like a Mr. Nehru. But he was initially he was the person who was not ready to go with Pakistan. Mr. Nehru trusted him, and he said, okay, no problem. And then the Hari Singh has been told to make this person as a chief minister. But that person put a three condition, and here come the Article 317 to the picture. Number one, the JNK will have their own constitution. Number two, the JNK will have their own assembly, and with that own assemblies, without the recommendation of assemblies, the government of India cannot do anything. So Indian constitution will not imply on them until there is special recommendation by the JNK assembly. And third thing, JNK also will have their own basically own flag. That what exactly they were talking. So these three things very, very important. And if we come to the more into the picture, it means like there is a country within a country kind of status. That what exactly the article.
My question also, I wanted to ask you your opinion and information. Why do you think Article 370 was removed? What is the reason that we had to remove it, or we had to take a decision that the BJP government took that decision to move Article 370? Why and how has that?
Yes. One very, very important thing is that if you see the BJP slogan, and in fact, it has been agitated is in I think so 55 or 60, when the Syama Prasad Mukherjee, he was the one of the tallest leader of BJP. You can say one of the founder member. And because at one time he's from the Congress, but he said very, very clearly at that point of time, basically, in the same country, there cannot be two constitutions. Okay. Same country cannot have the two flags. So this is what exactly he hesitated about, and same country cannot have two different laws. So that is a reason, because this is fundamentally because India has, now we have around 29 states. So every state cannot have this kind of provisions and under the special provisions, because one very important thing you have to understand, Article 370 is a temporary provision. Okay, so that is a temporary provision. Why? Because it's a carrot and the stick method, where the government have, and you just see the politics cannot be run, or a country cannot be run only in the idealistic manner. There has to be a practicality into that also. Otherwise, what happens? You will always face those problems. And that is the reason what happened.
Right.
They thought, okay, the
So
same
what are the
country.
positives? What are the positives that have come out?
Okay, now, yes,
What
there
are
is
the
one more.
positives that have come out after we
Yes,
removed
I,
Article 370? What do you think are the positives that have happened
I tell
for the
you,
Indian government as well as for Kashmir as a state? What are the positives that have come out?
okay, before positive, I tell you, first of all, we need to understand Jammu and Kashmir means Jammu, Kashmir, and Tibet. This is what the third one? Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh. Okay, sorry, like I just forgot that. So there are Jammu and Kashmir is made out of the three main location. If we take like as I say, if you look into the population, Ladakh, majority of them are Hindu or Buddhist. If you look at the Jammu, the majority population in Jammu, especially in Srinagar or Srinagar Valley area, if you look into that is there, then you find that uh, that is a majority of the Muslim population that is there. But if you look into the transition of last 70 years, then what happens? J&K people always have been in the confusion that they can be the part of, basically they can be a part of Pakistan, or they can be a part of India. That clarity, basically, that confusion has been generated by the various political party or various militant group or various liberation group. So what happens until the people have and the same way they have been misguided in the name of that. And one very, very important thing I want to bring it here, the provision of 35A, that is one of the provision, because under that provision, what happens, there is a specific rule which is violating the fundamental rights. And that's we need to understand, because the benefits which is going to the J&K, it is entirely political. Because the problem is that that benefit is not going to the common people, because the central government cannot ask any question to them, because they say, okay, no, your those fundamental right does not lie, because our rules are entirely different from your rules. And this was the area problem. So every time what happened, the government wanted to give them the benefit to the common people. Okay, but that benefit was not going, because it's just limiting between that politician in between. And that was one of the major cause. And the second very, very important thing which we need to understand, because the militancy as it has grown up in the last, say,
terrorism and militancy issues in Kashmir have been tremendous.
Yes.
Right. So after Article 370, do you feel that the terrorism and militancy has gone down? Do you feel the jobs have improved? Do you think the peace and investment in Kashmir from outside has gone up? Do you feel education has improved? Do you feel that what are the improvements that have happened in Kashmir?
Okay. Yes. First.
Or what are the negatives? I think even the general, the removing of Article 370, at least initially, had a lot of resistance, and there was a lot of, I would say, from the existing government of Kashmir at that point, as well as the common man of Kashmir also resisted that a lot. What do you feel has happened in the last 3 years to
Because
show
one
us
of
that things have really made a change?
I tell you, under the provision of 35A, there was a one very, very important provision we need to understand. Nobody from outside Kashmir, or nobody from a permanent resident of the Kashmir group, like any other part of Indian, cannot buy a land in Kashmir. So one person or cannot get settled down in Kashmir, basically, you need to understand. Second very, very important thing we need to understand, there are discrimination with the females there, especially in that case, they cannot marry somebody outside. And if they marry, in that case, what happens? They will not have any rights on their parental properties.
Yes.
So what happened? This was something to a long-term implication, because what happens slowly, the demography which have a Kashmiri Pandit or a mixed population, that
Right.
was started changing, and it was going to the only Muslim population, especially in Kashmir. That's what exactly. So that's the one thing. When the abolition of Article 370, then what happens like and 35A? Now the common person can go and they can work there. They can also buy land. They can also contribute to the economy of that particular state. And that same liberty give to the all the businessmen, all entrepreneurs, and all the industries also. So that is what exactly gonna help to all kind of people, and end of the day, which will help in the holistic development of JNK.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for this input and this information and all this that has come from you today. I'm very honored to have you on our talk today. And any last words that you would like to mention on the Article 370
No, more, yes.
as hope for
Therefore,
better things to come?
yes, so this is a decision which has been taken by the government, basically dividing JNK into 3 union territories, because the major and more or less like a major objective was that to giving the benefit to every individual of the Jammu and Kashmir, because they should have a feeling they are the part of
They
India, they will
belong
be
to
the part
India.
of India,
Yes.
and their fundamental rights is secured, well looked after, and which will help or
In
empower
the
them
longer
for
run.
overall
Yes.
development of Jammu
Improve
and
the
Kashmir.
poverty and development of the state itself.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being on our panel today. I'm Anisa Singh signing off for India Fight Back.